Krista had this way of making everything a joke when it made her uncomfortable. At first, I thought it was just a quirk. Then I started seeing the pattern. It started with the bonfire at her coworker's place. She was getting ready in the mirror, putting on this short floral dress I'd never seen before. I asked, "Hey, maybe don't flirt with Tyler tonight. I know he's into you, and last time he was all over you." She laughed like I told her a bad joke. "You're seriously jealous of Tyler. You're wild. Should I wear a turtleneck and bring a chaperone too?" That laugh hit me wrong. It wasn't playful. It was dismissive. I let it go. Later that night, I caught a weird bit of her group chat when her phone lit up while she was in the shower. Amber had texted, "Tell your obsessed man to chill. Tyler's not gonna steal you." Krista replied, "He's so dramatic, LMAO." That stung. I didn't say anything though. I was still telling myself I was imagining things. A couple weeks later, we were at this casual barbecue at Katie's house. Just friends, beers, burgers. I walked outside to grab more drinks and passed by the patio where Krista and her three best friends, Amber, Katie, and Nia, were sitting on the swing bench. I wasn't eavesdropping, but they weren't exactly whispering. "He gets this look when she talks to other guys. Like he's gonna cry," Katie said, and they all cracked up. "Oh my God, he's so clingy," Nia added. Amber fake pouted. "Poor baby just wants his little girl to stay inside forever." I felt that twist in my gut. They were talking about me. I walked past them pretending I didn't hear a thing, but Krista saw my face. She smiled like it was funny and said, "Babe, don't be mad. We're just joking. Loosen up." I didn't laugh. Quick note, before listening, share which city or country you're watching from. A few days later, I finally brought it up while we were walking through Target, just grabbing groceries. I said, "I don't like your friends making jokes about me like that. It's kinda mean." She stopped in the middle of the aisle, turned to me, and said loud enough for some lady near the cereal to hear, "Wow, you really are sensitive. Should I tell them to write you an apology letter?" I just stood there while she tossed a box of Cheerios into the cart and kept walking. I started wondering, was I really being too much? Maybe I was making a big deal out of nothing. Maybe guys weren't supposed to care this much. Maybe this was normal. I followed her down the aisle, but the back of my neck was still hot. Scene ends with action. Narrator follows her down the aisle. She was on her phone the entire drive back from Target, texting so fast her nails clicked against the screen. I was quiet, trying to decide if I was overreacting again. Maybe I was too sensitive. When we got home, I asked her, "Seriously, what would you do if I made fun of you in front of my friends like that?" She didn't even look up. "You're still on that? God, you really can't let anything go." "I'm just saying," "No, you're accusing me. Again, like always." She looked up now, sharp and smug. "It's not my fault you're so damn insecure." That was the new pattern. Every concern I brought up. She twisted it, made it about how needy I was, how jealous, how controlling. And somehow, I'd end up apologizing for bringing it up. Next week, I asked her what time she was going out with her friends. Normal question. She rolled her eyes and muttered, "I don't need to report my schedule to you, Warden." Then Amber posted some meme to Instagram. "When your man asks where you're going like he's Homeland Security," Krista commented. "Too real, ha ha ha." I knew that was aimed at me. The part that really burned was when she started telling people I tracked her movements. That's what she actually said to her friends, her coworkers, anyone who'd listen. Like I had some GPS on her or something. All I'd ever done was ask what time she'd be back or who was driving. Basic stuff. It got worse at events. We'd be at her cousin's birthday dinner, and out of nowhere, Nia would lean across the table and go, "Krista, did you get permission to order wine tonight?" Everyone laughed like it was a sitcom. Then Katie would pipe in, "Don't let him smell your phone battery, girl." I'd sit there fake smiling, knowing they were all laughing at me. Krista would just sip her drink and say something like, "You guys are the worst," but she never actually stopped them. Even strangers could see it. One day at work, I was microwaving leftover spaghetti in the break room when Jake, this guy from logistics, walked in. He watched me for a second, then said, "You good, man?" "Yeah, why?" "You look like hell, dude. Like, no offense, but you look drained. You sick." I shook my head. "Just haven't been sleeping great." He nodded slow, then leaned against the counter. "You sure it's not girl trouble?" I froze with the fork halfway to my mouth. Jake tilted his head. "Look, I've seen that look before. That tired, checked out vibe. That's usually some next level emotional stress. If I'm out of line, just tell me. I didn't even realize I needed to talk until the words started pouring out. I told him the basics, about how every conversation with Krista somehow turned into her accusing me of being controlling, how her friends constantly mocked me to my face, how nothing I did was ever good enough. Jake let me talk. When I was done, he crossed his arms and said, "Dude, she's gaslighting the hell out of you." I blinked. "You think so?" He raised his eyebrows. "Man, she's flipping reality upside down and making you apologize for stuff she's doing wrong. That's not insecurity. That's manipulation." He walked out after that, but those words stuck. Still. Later that night, Krista came over with takeout. Thai food, my favorite. She acted sweet, sat on my lap, told me I was so dramatic sometimes, but she still loved me. I told myself Jake didn't know her like I did, that maybe I really was being that guy, the jealous one, the one who couldn't handle his girlfriend having friends, the insecure type. I made myself believe it, again. We watched a movie on the couch. She fell asleep on my chest. But the whole time, my stomach was twisted in knots. I kept thinking about Jake's face when he said, "That's manipulation." I muted the TV and stared at the ceiling, her head heavy on my shoulder. And I started wondering, for real this time, how much of this was normal. Scene ends with action. Narrator mutes the TV and stares at the ceiling. Krista shifted in her sleep, still half on my chest, and I finally slid out from under her. I needed space. I went into the bathroom, splashed cold water on my face, stared at myself in the mirror like maybe I'd see some kind of answer. Next night was Eric's birthday party, backyard thing. Bonfire, drinks, Bluetooth speaker, blasting late 2000s throwbacks. I wasn't in the mood, but Krista insisted we show up. She came out of the bedroom dressed like we were going clubbing in Miami. Tiny black dress, 4-inch heels, lip gloss so shiny it looked wet. She twirled in front of me. "Too much." I paused. "It's a bonfire." She smirked. "Relax, I want to look hot for your friends." Except they weren't really my friends. Most of them were hers now. I just nodded and grabbed my keys. When we got there, people were already drinking. Amber was doing shots off a folding table. Katie waved us over. It was the usual crowd, plus some I didn't recognize. I stood off near the cooler, nursing a beer, watching Krista float through the yard like she owned it. Then Brian walked in, tall, athletic, way too confident. Krista's ex. She froze like she was shocked, then let out this fake surprised laugh. "Oh my God, Brian!" Amber gasped like it was some sitcom reunion. "No way." "What are the chances?" I just stared. Krista ran up and hugged him, way too long. "What are you even doing here?" "Eric invited me. I didn't know you'd be here," Brian said, but his eyes flicked toward me fast, like he knew I'd be watching. She laughed and did that thing where she touched his arm while talking, like every word was a private joke. She leaned in too close, kept brushing her hair behind her ear, laughing like he was the funniest guy alive. I stood there, watching her flirt in 4K, while her friends whispered and glanced at me like I was invisible, or worse, pathetic. "Damn, she really went there," Nia muttered to Amber. Amber didn't even hide her smirk. Katie leaned toward me, fake polite. "You doing okay?" I didn't answer. I just kept watching. Krista and Brian moved closer to the fire pit, sitting side by side. She was full on leaning into him now, her hand on his thigh, whispering in his ear. Then she glanced back at me, locked eyes, held it like a dare. Before I could even process it, she grabbed Brian's face and kissed him, full on, tongue, hands in his hair, the whole show. Amber shrieked and pulled out her phone. "Oh my God, you savage!" Nia laughed so hard she bent over. "This is legendary." Krista pulled away from Brian and winked at the camera, like this was funny, like I was just part of the punchline. I didn't say a word. I walked back toward the house, past the folding chairs, past the grill, through the sliding door. I didn't look at anyone. I didn't grab Krista. I didn't yell. I just left. Walked out the front gate, down the street, keys already in hand, got in my car and drove. No music, no AC. Just the sound of my own breathing and the blood pounding in my ears. The whole ride home, my mind was blank. Not angry, not even hurt. Just done. Scene ends with action. Narrator drives home in silence. I pulled into my apartment complex, parked, and just sat there. Engine off, windows up, streetlight buzzing above me. My phone buzzed once, then again, then again. I finally checked. It was Krista. Instagram stories, back-to-back uploads, 10 total. I opened them. First one was her in that same black dress, grinding on some random guy at the party. Not Brian, someone else. His hands were on her waist, and she was smiling right at the camera. Caption, "This is what happens when you try to control me." I blinked. Next story, a video of her doing body shots off that same guy's chest. Amber cheering in the background. Then came one of her kissing someone else entirely, some skinny dude with a lip ring and a vape in his hand. She pulled him in like it was nothing, no hesitation. Just mouth on mouth, tongue out, camera rolling. Caption, "Living my best single life." Every story was worse than the last. She was collecting guys like it was a contest. Some clips were from the party, others were clearly after, at a bar or maybe someone's house. Flashing lights, sloppy dancing, new guy, same Krista, shot after shot. Lap dance, grind, tongue down another throat. Caption, "You wanted space. Enjoy it." Her voice in one clip, "He can't handle a bad bitch with options." Amber's comment under one, "Finally free." Nia, "This is what healing looks like." Katie, "Unbothered queen behavior." I watched it all from my couch, still in the jeans and hoodie I wore to the party, still smelling like bonfire smoke. I should have stopped watching. I knew I should have closed the app, but I couldn't. It felt like watching a slow-motion car crash I was strapped into. She wasn't just partying. She wasn't just letting off steam. She was performing for her friends, for her followers, for me, like she wanted me to see it. Every move screamed, "You don't matter." Every guy she touched was a middle finger. Every kiss was her saying, "You'll never control me." It wasn't heartbreak anymore. It was humiliation. I sat there gripping my phone, knuckles white, scrolling through the comments like I was searching for something, anything that said this wasn't real, but it was. I checked the time, 2:30 a.m. Another post popped up, this one on her main feed. A selfie with her makeup smudged, dress strap sliding off her shoulder. She was grinning like a kid on Christmas. Caption, "I'd rather be real and reckless than fake and controlled. Leshkal mia single life. Wash dalbio, don't mishim." Amber commented, "Say it louder for the sad little men in the back." Nia added, "He lost a dime and she gained freedom." That was the moment I finally got it. She wasn't spiraling. She was celebrating. Not because we broke up. We hadn't even had that talk yet. She was celebrating breaking me, and the people around her. They weren't just supporting it. They were cheering her on like it was some kind of sport. This wasn't just disrespect. It was a message, loud and clear. She was proud of how little I mattered. Scene ends with action. Narrator watches her new post and reads the comments. I was still on the couch when I heard the front door open. The lock clicked slow, like she was trying not to wake me, but I hadn't slept, not for a second. Krista stumbled in at exactly 3:07. Her heels clacked once on the tile, then she kicked them off hard. One bounced into the wall. She reeked. Sweat, weed, cheap tequila, smoke from the fire pit. Every bad decision had its own smell. She saw me sitting there and blinked like I wasn't supposed to be awake. "Oh," she slurred, leaning against the wall to peel her dress off her shoulders. "Didn't think you'd still be up." "I bet," she snorted. "You're mad." "Don't be so dramatic." I didn't answer, just unlocked my phone and held it up, tapped through the stories she'd posted. Every frame, every kiss, every guy, one after another. I didn't say a word, just let the videos speak. She looked at them for maybe 5 seconds before she cracked up laughing. "That's what you're mad about," she said between giggles. "Oh my God, you're so fragile." I stayed quiet. She flopped onto the arm of the recliner and dropped her purse on the floor. "It's not even a big deal. You act like I cheated or something." "You didn't." She rolled her eyes hard. "Jesus, every girl cheats. At least I did it in front of you." I felt something inside me freeze solid. She kept going. "What, you wanted me to sneak around behind your back like some coward? Nah, I'm honest about my shit." I blinked slow. "You kissed 3 different guys." "So? It was a party. That's what people do when they're not being micromanaged by some jealous little boyfriend." "Micromanaged," I repeated. She stood up, wobbled a little, then steadied herself on the counter. You always act like I'm property. Like you own me. Guess what? You don't. I asked you not to flirt with your ex. You made out with him. She laughed again, louder this time. You still on, Brian? That was nothing. We were drunk. You're seriously pressed over a kiss. Grow up. She walked past me toward the stairs, trailing smoke and spilled rum behind her. You'll get over it by morning, she called out, not even looking back. You always do. I didn't move. I didn't follow her. Just stared at the front door she'd come through. She thumped up the stairs, tossed something heavy onto the bedroom floor, probably her bag. Then silence. I sat there until the fridge kicked on. Then I stood up and walked up the stairs too. But I didn't go into the bedroom. I turned into the guest room, shut the door behind me, and locked it. That's when I knew. She wasn't sorry. She never had been. And she never would be. Scene ends with action. Narrator locks the guest room door behind him. I didn't sleep that night. I just laid on the guest room mattress staring at the ceiling fan. My jaw locked tight, my hands fists under the pillow. At 7:01 the next morning, I shut off my phone completely. No airplane mode, no silent notifications. I powered it down and tossed it in the drawer. No texts, no calls, no social media, nothing. And then I got dressed, grabbed my keys, and left like she didn't even exist. The first 2 days were quiet, at least from my end. I worked, ate lunch at my desk, drove straight home after, didn't say more than 10 words to anyone. But by day 3, the silence started to piss her off. Voicemail after voicemail started flooding in. I only knew because I checked the landline at work. Yeah, we still have one. Can you please call me? One message said. I was drunk. You know I didn't mean any of that. Next one, seriously, you're just gonna ghost me, after everything. Then the switch flipped. Grow the hell up, okay? You're acting like a little bitch. Get over it. Followed 2 hours later by, I miss you. I'm sorry. Please. I'm begging you. By the end of the week, it was like she couldn't decide if she wanted to kill me or marry me. Rage guilt, begging, repeat. Then her friends started calling. Amber left a voicemail pretending to be sweet. Hey, I think you're blowing this way out of proportion. You and Krista are like soulmates or whatever. Katie texted my coworker Jake. Tell your buddy to stop ghosting. It's cruel. Even Krista's cousin hit me up on Facebook Messenger, saying I was being cold and should at least give her closure. Closure. She kissed 3 different dudes in public and bragged about it online. What exactly did she think I owed her? By Monday, she showed up at my job. I was in the break room heating up my lunch, leftover meatloaf bland as hell, when Jenna from HR peeked in and said, someone's waiting for you downstairs. Brown hair, short dress, kinda loud. I didn't need a name. I just nodded, walked to the elevator, hit the down button. I saw her through the glass doors before I even stepped into the lobby. She was pacing, crying, talking to herself, holding her phone in one hand, keys in the other. I walked out like I didn't even see her. She rushed toward me. Wait, please, just talk to me. I kept walking. I was drunk, okay? I didn't mean to hurt you. You're being cruel. People were watching now. Couple coworkers froze near the vending machines. The security guy leaned forward from his desk. I love you, she said, her voice breaking. You're just throwing us away. I didn't stop, didn't turn. I pushed through the front doors and kept moving until I got to my car. She didn't follow me. She just stood there on the sidewalk, shaking, mascara running, totally lost. And for once, I didn't feel sorry. I didn't feel like chasing her. I didn't feel like fixing anything. And that, more than anything, terrified her. Scene ends with action. Narrator gets in his car and leaves without looking back. I parked in the same spot I always did. Nothing felt different, just another Tuesday. I walked in, clocked in, poured myself some coffee from the burnt pot in the break room, and got to my desk. 10 minutes later, all hell broke loose. Jake leaned over the divider between our desks. Hey, you might want to head to the lobby. I looked up. Why? She's back. I didn't have to ask who. He just gave me that look. I stood up, walked through the hallway like it was just another errand. But as soon as I stepped into the front lobby, I saw the scene. Krista was there, full meltdown mode. Tight jeans, oversized hoodie, hair in a messy bun like she wanted to look casual. But her makeup was running and her face was already blotchy from crying. She spotted me and rushed over. "Oh, thank God," she choked out. "You're finally here. Please, please, can we just talk?" People were gathering. Receptionist paused her typing. Two of the sales guys stood near the water cooler, phones halfway out of their pockets. Jenna from HR peeked around the corner. Krista grabbed my arm. "I don't care if it's here. I don't care who's watching. I just want you to hear me out." I pulled my arm away. "Okay," I said, calm and flat. "You want me to talk. I'll talk." She blinked like she hadn't expected that. "You made out with your ex at a party you dragged me to," I said, loud enough for the whole damn lobby to hear. "Then posted videos of you grinding on strangers, kissing random guys, doing shots, and bragging about being single." A gasp came from somewhere behind me. Krista's mouth opened, then snapped shut. Her eyes went wide like a kid caught stealing. "I begged you not to flirt with Brian," I kept going, voice steady. "You laughed in my face, then tongued him down while your friends recorded it." "Stop," she whispered. "No," I said louder. "You wanted to talk. So, we're talking." She switched gears like flipping a light switch. Tears welled up again. "I was drunk, okay? I wasn't thinking. I didn't mean to hurt you. It just what?" I cut in. Just slipped and landed on three guys' faces. That one got a few quiet laughs from the sales guys. I didn't care. Krista's voice cracked. "I didn't know what I was doing. I messed up. But I love you. Doesn't that mean anything?" I stared at her. She reached for my hand, desperate now. "Baby, we can fix this. We always do. Don't throw us away because of one mistake." "One mistake." I stepped back. "It wasn't one. It was planned, posted, and celebrated. You wanted me to see it." She shook her head. No, I was just... My friends hyped it up. I got caught up. You were ignoring me. I didn't know what to do." I looked around at the faces watching. Jake, Jenna, receptionist, half the damn office frozen in place. Then I looked back at Krista, mascara smudged, lip trembling, hands shaking, and I said it plain and clear, "We're done." She blinked hard. No, you don't mean that." I turned and walked away. Didn't run, didn't storm out, just walked. Calm. Final. Behind me, I heard her break down completely, sobbing, saying my name over and over, her voice bouncing off the lobby walls like a siren. But I didn't stop, not even once. Scene ends with action. Narrator walks away, while Krista cries behind him. By the time I got home that night, I'd already gotten 4 missed calls from Krista, 2 voicemails, 1 text that said, "You're ruining my life." I didn't respond. I walked straight into the kitchen, poured myself a glass of water, and sat down at the table. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I let it ring. It rang a second time, then a third. Then I picked up. "Hello? Is this really how you treat someone you claim to love?" It was Krista's mom. Didn't even say hi. "She made one mistake. One. And you're punishing her for being fun." I rubbed my eyes. "Mrs. Taylor, she's devastated. She hasn't eaten. She's been crying for days. And now she tells me you're humiliating her at your job, calling her out in public like some soap opera villain. She left that part out, huh? She told me everything, and honestly, it sounds like you've got serious control issues. Do you need help?" I didn't even flinch. "Cool, you want the videos?" She paused. "What? The videos, the screenshots, the whole unfiltered highlight reel your daughter posted of herself cheating in public." Silence. I opened my email and started forwarding everything. "Check your inbox," I said, and hung up. 5 minutes later, my own mom called. I picked up. "Hey," her voice was stiff. "I just got off the phone with Krista's mom. Let me guess, she thinks I'm the bad guy. She said you're unstable, that you've been emotionally abusive for months, that Krista's scared of you." I opened the same email, added my mom's address, and hit send again. "Mom, just watch the videos." There was a pause. Then she said quietly, "I'm opening it now." I waited, didn't say a word. About 6 minutes later, she called back. "Oh my God," she said, voice shaking. "She's a manipulative little brat." I almost laughed. "So we're on the same page now. I defended that girl to my friends, to you." "I know." She was gloating in those videos, like she was proud of what she did. She was. My mom went quiet, then said, You want me to call her mom and set the record straight? I exhaled. Nah, I think she's figuring it out. Because while I was on the line, my inbox pinged with a reply from Krista's mom. Subject line, I'm sorry, message, she's on her way home. I had no idea. Thank you for telling me the truth. I leaned back in my chair, phone still pressed to my ear. Krista's mom just switched sides, I told mine. Good, my mom said. About damn time. And just like that, the story Krista built, about me being the villain and her being the victim, collapsed. The web of lies couldn't hold up once the receipts hit the light. Scene ends with action. Narrator watches Krista's story collapse in real time. Once Krista's mom replied, I knew the timing was perfect. I took out my phone, powered it on for the first time in days, and typed one short message. We should talk. Just us. She replied in under a minute, Yes, thank you. Please come over. I'll make snacks LOL. The LOL nearly made me throw my phone across the room. I didn't answer. I just grabbed my car keys, set my voice recorder app to standby, and headed to her place. The second she opened the door, it was like I'd never left. Full smile, mascara clean this time, fake cute hoodie and shorts like we were back in high school dating again. Her apartment smelled like microwaved popcorn and those cinnamon wax melts she always overused. I'm so glad you came, she said, stepping aside to let me in. Do you want something to drink? I made nachos, well, kind of. They're just chips and cheese, but I figured you'd want something. She was buzzing, borderline bouncing, like she thought this was her redemption arc. I sat on the edge of the couch and pulled out my phone casually, screen facing down, voice recorder running. She didn't even notice. She placed the nachos on the coffee table and sat across from me, legs tucked under her. So, you wanted to talk? I do, I said calmly. I just want to understand what happened, not the social media version, just you and me. She nodded slowly like she was preparing some Oscar-winning monologue. Okay, so first of all, I didn't plan to hook up with Brian, okay? Amber invited him without telling me. You looked surprised. Exactly, I was surprised. But once he was there, everyone started hyping it up, saying I should mess with you, that you were being, over-controlling. I kept my eyes on her. So it was a dare. Not a literal dare, but they were pushing it, and I was mad. You'd been ignoring me, acting like I was the bad guy, and I guess I just snapped a little. I nodded. You just happened to grind on 3 guys, make out with 2 more, and post the whole thing to Instagram. She rolled her eyes. I was drunk, okay? It was stupid, but I didn't really cheat. You didn't think kissing Brian at a party you dragged me to counts as cheating. It was 1 kiss, she said fast. Okay, 2, but it wasn't serious. It was for attention. I just wanted to piss you off. I stayed silent. She leaned in like she was confiding a deep truth. Honestly, if you hadn't walked out, I probably wouldn't have done the other stuff. You leaving made me spiral. I let that land, then asked, Were you planning on seeing Brian again? She hesitated just half a second too long. No. I raised my eyebrows. She laughed nervously. Okay, fine. I thought about it. He messaged me that night, said he had fun. I didn't respond. You didn't respond yet. She tilted her head. Why are you being so cold? I'm not being cold. I'm just listening. She folded her arms. You're acting like you're here to forgive me, but really you're just trying to trap me into saying something wrong. I picked up my phone from the coffee table. I don't need to trap you, Krista, I said, tapping the stop button on the recorder. You already said everything I needed to hear. Her face dropped. Wait, what? You admitted it was planned, that your friends hyped it up, that you were thinking about calling Brian. You blame me, but never once actually took responsibility. She stood up fast, face flushing. You recorded me. Damn right I did. She lunged for my phone, but I backed away. You're insane, she hissed. You think anyone's going to care what I said in a private conversation. I opened the door. We'll see, I said. I've got your voice. I've got your face. And now, finally, I've got the truth. Scene ends with action. Narrator walks out the door with the recording. I got to my car, locked the doors, and sat there with the engine running. No music, no noise, just me and the truth. I pulled up the audio recording, attached it to an email along with the party videos, and sent it to 3 people, my mom, Krista's mom, and my sister, Danielle. Subject line, "This is who she really is." Within 10 minutes, my phone started lighting up. Danielle was first. She didn't even text, just FaceTime me with her jaw on the floor. She really sat there and said all that, like she was proud. "Yep," I said. Didn't stutter. Next was Krista's mom. She replied with one line, told her to pack her bags. "She's coming home tonight." I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I just felt done. I parked in front of my place, started heading inside, and that's when I heard tires screech behind me. Krista's car. She slammed the door and came sprinting down the street barefoot, mascara streaked, still in the hoodie from earlier. "You sent it to my parents," she screamed. "Are you insane?" I didn't stop walking. "Wait, wait!" she shrieked. "Just don't go inside. Please let me explain. One last time. Just us." I turned around once, just long enough to make it stick. "You are not welcome to contact me again," I said, loud and final. "Not now. Not ever." She stood there frozen, breathing hard, like she didn't believe it was real, like this was some prank that would end in a laugh and a hug. I unlocked my door, walked inside, and slammed it shut. I blocked her number, deleted every thread, turned off my phone for good measure. That was the last time I ever saw her. The next morning, sunlight came through the blinds in a way I hadn't felt in years. It didn't just look different, it felt different. No guilt, no anxiety, no waiting for the next hit, just quiet, just peace.